The next safety guideline to go over is that we cannot make any stops today for your dropped items. And yes, that includes your cell phones and children. So give you a hold on all those little objects and those little ones today. But if you do drop something,
Adam, how does this make you feel that you can't drop children?
And then lastly, if there is a medical emergency roll in here. Those of you in my second and third car, you can pull those yellow straps above you on your ceilings, whereas those of you in my front car can either knock on this here window if you can reach, or wave at me in my mirrors if you can. Either will go ahead and pull the vehicle up to address that situation.
Go for it, I'm about to record
With
for
all that said and
25
done, we'll
minutes
get to some
straight.
animals.
Hopefully
And for
my
today, we'll
phone
be
doesn't
talking
die.
mostly about survival and really how these animals are best suited for surviving in their natural habitats.
Hopefully the recording doesn't come out
We're going to be
bad.
mainly talking first, at least, here in East Africa, coming up on the driver's side. So we'll be visiting these animals again later today, but for right now, take a look on the driver's side and see what you can find. So far, a few species I'm seeing
There's
are
giraffe.
the giraffe, southern white rhinos, the pink buffalo off in the distance, and then a few of our East African crowned crane up in front of us. But the main thing I want you to take away from these animals at this moment is that they're like you and I in that they're social. So they're hanging out in
Look,
groups together.
look over there.
Now, the main reason
Good
why
birds.
animals will be social is for protection, to
These are
either help fight
birds.
back or just get away from predators. So larger animals like
Giraffe
the giraffe
is
and
sitting.
rhino, they can fight back. They're big enough to
Giraffe
fight
is
off smaller
sitting.
predators. They're grouped up like they're babies, which are the more vulnerable members of their species. But then you have some smaller animals like some antelope, gazelles, and some of the birds here that we're going to talk about. They're going to group up instead to have that safety and numbers feeling, to have as many sets of eyes watching for predators as
Look,
possible.
look,
Because they can't
look,
really
look,
fight
look.
back. Their main strategy is to just try and get away.
You're wilding.
A good example of that is coming up on the passenger side with a flock of greater flamingos.
Yo, I need to record them
They're
flamingos.
just absolutely beautiful birds overall. But as you can see, not
They're
really
flamingos
large
now.
and built. They're very thin to allow them to fly.
You can actually
Not really able to fight back if a predator were to attack them, so they're grouped in these big flocks to have as many supplies watching around.
There's so many flamingos though. Right.
We are going to revisit East Africa at the end of our tour, so we'll be back here later today. For now, though, we're going to move off and visit the Rhino Rescue Center. And
Yay.
unfortunately, as many of you may know, rhinos are heavily endangered due to the poaching of their horns. There are people that think rhino horn can be used as medicine, but that information is actually
That's pretty
not
messed
true,
up.
as rhino horn has no medicinal qualities whatsoever. And in fact, if you want to know what it's made from or what it feels like, go ahead and rub your fingernails right now, or put your hand through your hair. Because that's the same material as a rhino's horn. It's made out of a protein called keratin. And so you and I have it, they have it, and almost every one of our animals we're going to see today has it in some way. Specifically at the Rhino Rescue Center, we're using techniques like artificial insemination to artificially impregnate some of our female southern white rhinos. We're doing this in the future so that we can make them surrogate mothers for their sister species, the northern white rhino. Anyone
They're
happen
gonna be
to
over
know
there.
how
They're gonna
many
be over there.
northern white rhinos exist in the entire world today? Yeah, I see a few of you making peace signs. Unfortunately, you are correct. There are just 2 northern white rhinos left in the entire world. Both are females, but we do have some frozen samples at the safari park. So we'll be down here at the Rhino Rescue Center. We are hoping to bring that species back. So these animals you're seeing on the passenger side right now are all southern white rhinos. And let's try to scoot forward a little bit further real quick. I'm going to encourage you all to look a little bit forward up ahead of us before we get too low on this hill. There is one of our 2 baby rhinos out here as well.
Those are babies.
So up ahead of us, there's one large rhino, which is Mom, Victoria, and there's a little boy named Edward out here. Edward being about, I believe, 6 months old or so now. He was born last summer. And I'll use little in quotations here. He's a pretty big baby already. So that's Edward. We'll talk a bit more about
I'm
him
taking
and
really good
animals
videos,
again at the end of our tour.
I'm not even kidding. It's turning out really well.
One way though that you can
Yo, look at the
support
left,
really
look at
all
the
rhino
left.
species, not just the northern white
Look at the
rhino,
birds.
by spreading some of this information. Actually, that rhino horn is not medicine, and one source that can go a long way in saving that common animal.
Look at them.
For now, though, we'll say goodbye to the rhinos and move on to our next habitat. This one coming up on the driver's side. Here, this is South Africa. And the first little section we're talking about is large rhinos. You'll see many different kinds of animals out here. All the way to and remember earlier I mentioned that almost every one of our animals
That's so weird though.
in them in some way. We'll be birds have keratin. Birds have keratin. So again, same thing as our hair and nails, just used in different ways. One of the major adaptations I want to encourage you all to explore today is whether or not these animals can use camouflage, if they can blend in. Most rare animals can use it in some way, but there are very few species that stand out to you. So especially for those animals, if you're taking pictures that have a black and white color filter, take a few photos with that filter on, and then you're seeing these animals as their predators. And what I mean by that is most animals don't see as clearly in color as you and I. They'll generally see in shades of whites, blacks, and grays only. Now, it's not true for all animals. Some do see better than us. Those are mostly a few species of birds and insects. So a lot of what you and I are going to find out here won't see as well as you think.
Oh, sorry for the cut. I just had to, or else the recording video long.
So next up, turn towards the passenger side. You'll be seeing one of our bird marshes out here.
Ooh,
The animals we're going to
right
focus on are hanging out on the rocks. These are some of our vultures.
Oh,
The two
look
that
at
are
the
on the rocks
vultures.
right now are known as Ruppel's vultures. There's also a lappet-faced vulture off to my right on them. That's the one hanging out on the grass level that has more of a red face, so it's actually, behind us. I shouldn't say right or left, because I know some of my guests are facing backwards. Now, I do have a soft spot in my heart in general for these vultures because they do play one of the most important roles in their ecosystems, despite that I've always given them a very negative reputation. Vultures are known as the cleanup crew of the Serengeti. These are the animals that are directly responsible with preventing the spread of diseases, but due to things like habitat loss, accidental
there's one in the
poisoning,
den.
and that reputation,
Like,
many
little
vulture
water
species
spot right there.
like
There's
a
one
rhino,
hiding in there.
an endangered species with not many.
It looks like there's one in there.
The good news is, though, by being here with us today, you are helping to support them. Because you're supporting a facility that has a breeding program for them. At the safari park, we are what is called an AZA, or Association of Zoos and
I'm
Aquariums.
surprised my phone could still
That has breeding programs for a
remember
lot of
after
different
6
animals.
minutes.
So if we're lucky, we'll see a few of the little ones out today, some are different species.
Oh, are those horses?
Next up, you can continue to look on the passenger.
I think those are
It's a
horses.
little tricky, though. She's hanging out right next
think
to
that's
the
horse.
fence line here. I'll try my best to show you all her. She's going to be just past these bushes. She's going a little bit higher now. And you'll see a little orange-brown animal.
Oh, there it is.
When people see her, I think the first thing that comes to mind is that's Pumbaa, right?
Sorry.
That is not Pumbaa. They are his close relatives, but Hakuna Matata is a little offensive to them overall. She is a red river hog. We have 3 females out here. That's about as big as she gets. She's not a baby or anything like that. They're not very large animals.
Oh God.
She's the one that's been active right now. The other 2 girls are hanging out kind of back by their indoor area. But again, that is a red river hog.
You know what I should have done? I should have gotten that one thing where you could just zoom in with one finger.
A little bit of a barren patch in terms of animals out here, so we're going to keep pushing
Look
forward
over
to
there.
find
Look over there. This is like a bunch of like horses. Or,
Off
not
in the
horses.
distance, we will see a few different animals on the driver's side. There's also a hawk hanging out at the top of this kind of barren tree next to us. That is a wild one.
Oh, there is a
There's
hawk.
species out there.
Look.
Just flying off.
See that? Follow on my camera.
You get a lot of cool native
See.
wildlife that like to hang out around this
Oh, there's
area.
one flying right there.
One of the most unique things I've probably ever seen here was a
pass.
juvenile bald eagle.
There's one over there. There's like a whole bunch of stuff over there.
But some animals out here in Africa are the gemsbok. Now, the gemsbok are those gray-colored creatures with black and white facial markings. We'll see more of their herd in just a moment.
Oh, further? That's good footage, actually.
Because I can take a picture while I'm recording.
Yeah.
Like while I'm recording.
I think everyone can.
Those of the gemsbok herd are hanging out kind of down below in these trees, or underneath the trees, I should say.
This is actually really good. It's actually.
Now again, for this species of animal, you're seeing that every individual has those 2 horns. So for this species, males and females will both grow them. We're going to talk about some other animals later today where just males will grow horns, and I'll explain the difference between and why that's important later today.
Oh, this is like a hut.
But when I mention
Up
an
above?
animal with a long neck and I'm talking about something that lives in Africa, I'm pretty sure the first thing that comes to our mind is a giraffe, right? But there is actually another animal with a long neck out there. And I call
Anteater.
them the walking bushes.
No.
Anyone know what it might be? They're big, but they're nowhere near as big as giraffe are. Well, if you have a guess, look at this building and see if you were correct. They're hanging out in here right now.
Oh, alright. Oh, ostriches or emu. Ostrich or emu? Emu.
These are ostrich, right?
The ostriches,
These are
big
3 of our 4 female ostriches that
God.
live throughout South Africa.
Okay.
Collectively, we call them the Spice Girls. Very energetic animals, very inquisitive, with long legs to boot. Feel free to stand and get some pictures of them. As for why they're in this building, we use it for many different reasons. It can be used for introductions. If we have a new animal coming out here, it can be used for a medical facility if our vets need to look look at a few specific
God,
animals.
that's
And it can also be used to do a temporary put.
And there's
For whatever
gazelle behind
reason,
them.
Animals that you can put in there, but not fully remove themselves. Sometimes they're put in there so the keepers can go ahead and make a better, get a closer look at the bed. The next step looks like we're going to be interrupting a bit of feeding time out here, folks.
I'm gonna zoom in right here. There's probably
So
something.
what was the other animal I said was long
It's
neck?
the giraffe.
It's the giraffe boys.
It's the giraffe
Right
gang.
over here.
Look, there's on the bus. Hi.
One of our boys kind of messing around with the caravans out there. So that, like many of you have, is actually one of our little ones out there. He doesn't know yet what not to chew on.
Oh,
That is a little
he's
pussy
eating
out
the
there
bus.
dribbling on the campus of the caravan trucks.
He's eating the bus.
Let's get over, by the way. Can you tell how he's different than the other giraffe in terms of spots and colors, if you're able to see him right now? The reason for this is there are actually multiple different subspecies of the giraffe in Africa. And things like
Eat the
spots
bus,
and coloration
eat
is
the
how you can
bus.
tell them apart from each other. So the group you're seeing out here is a subspecies referred to as the Maasai giraffe. Meanwhile, Obi is actually adopted.
Oh, they're
by
feeding
a
him.
bird and a
They
different
give him
subspecies.
carrots.
So that's why he looks so different.
Oh, down
His
celery.
adopted twin brother out
celery
here,
or
this
lettuce?
other little giraffe hanging out with the others right now, is the shortest giraffe in here. His name is Yoda. So Yoda and Obi
Yoda.
are two baby boys. We had baby Yoda first, by the way, just so you're aware. And the last
Still
thing I do
eating
want to
it.
mention about giraffe in general here is that despite the fact that they are
They're
one of the
eating?
most iconic animals
He's eating the
worldwide,
bus.
they are yet another example of an
Why?
animal that does need our help. We have lost about half of our wild giraffe population over the
Difference.
past 2 decades alone.
Very big
We can help
difference.
us support traffic laws through one of our websites called Wildwatch Kenya. What we've done there is our researchers in Africa have deployed field cameras that send us thousands of images
No?
every day.
You're gonna stop? Okay.
By going onto that website, you play a game of I Spy with these animals, and you identify them from those photos.
One of them's
which in turn
going.
helps our researchers
Adam,
figure out
one of
which
them's
areas to
walking.
focus their efforts
Look.
on conservation.
Ooh, there's a camel.
It's the
Here,
ball.
first up on the passenger side is my favorite individual animal.
There's a
on the
camel.
safari park.
Donkey.
At the top of the hill out there.
It's not a
that's
donkey, it's a
June the
camel.
What
Donkey.
am I to do?
It's June the
I
camel.
did.
There's donkey.
He is joined, as always, by his neighbor,
Donkeys.
the Somali wild ass. Like themselves, they're from the nation of Somalia. But due to the conflicts within their home nation, they are yet another example of an endangered species where we do have a breeding program for them. Now, no babies out here, but a bit of maybe some future good news. If you like to visit us kind of often.
Yes.
I have heard there's a very pregnant
course.
female out here. So hopefully soon there should be a baby out.
That one's just flashing.
And then on the driver's side, you have a great view moving away from us of a pattern
Oh my God,
field,
what's
a
that?
large and tan color. I'll move forward here if you're blocked by these bushes or logs, and we'll see a bit better of them.
Look over there. Those look like
And then
bison.
further up ahead of us are the Cape buffalo on the driver's side
Yeah,
as well,
buffalo.
with dark brown to jet black color.
Well, I mean, they do.
Outside of the
Buffalo and
rhinos
bison are
and the
kind of the
giraffes,
same
these are
thing.
two of the largest animals we'll be seeing on our tour today.
I kind of want to touch the leaf.
Now, as we begin climbing this hill, I cannot make any stops, so please do me a favor, remain seated for your safety. We're entering into another habitat now called Central Africa.
I
I'll
can't
do my
even.
best to point out any animals we see. So keep your eyes open on the driver's side of the hill. Coming up down below us, there'll be a building with a yellow tarp on it. In that yard, you'll see Aria, the black rhinoceros.
Right
Aria is a
there.
different species of rhino that we've seen so far.
Oh
And
my
she's
God.
the next animal that will hopefully be out here permanently in Central. Right now she's in a transition phase though, so about half her time is out here, half her time is in that building. We'll see a few
I
of our
literally
neighbors
got it
off in the
perfect
distance,
footage.
including the
I'll
greater
send you the
kudu
video.
and the roan antelope. The roan will be a bit of a light brown colored animal with black and white facial markings and 2 curved horns, whereas the kudu
Oh, it's
don't
over
have
there.
any markings overall in terms of on their faces. And they're a bit of a taller animal.
It's over there. It's kind of hard to see though.
The reason I pointed them out, even though they're so far away from us, is because for the roan antelope, if you look off in the distance on the far hills that's away from us, you'll see some much smaller individuals, more of a dark brown. Those are all baby
Shoot.
roan antelope out there. Our youngest roan is about 2 days old, born on Tuesday.
Oh, that's cool. 2 days old? Those are. I see the 2-year-old right there.
You probably won't see that roan antelope out here today.
Is it
And what I mean
there?
by that is it's probably hiding. Because the animals at the safari park do behave like they would out in the wild. And for the roan antelope, when they have their babies, they don't just keep them near moms all the time. They actually hide them. And what they're doing is they're trying to draw attention away from the babies. Because when they're born,
God.
they can't keep up with mom yet.
Are those animals? No,
They need
those
a few
animals.
days
That's
to
wood.
weeks to get the strength under them.
That legit looks like an animal.
So instead, mom
doesn't
will
it?
hide her baby and then feed it, groom it, take care of it on her own for about a week or two maybe, and then it'll rejoin the rest of the herd once it's strong enough.
Over
There are a
there.
few species on the passenger side over here, mostly some red-footed gazelle. Tiny little animals with that black stripe on the midsection.
Can't zoom in anymore. But look.
I'm not seeing
It's
too much of a
everywhere.
really good view though, so we're gonna keep moving.
Over there, everywhere. Oh, there's little
I
ducks.
do not focus our time on animals that are in a very clear view for pretty much everyone.
It's a duck.
It's a duck.
So while we head back onto this side of Central, we'll be seeing the road animals at a much closer view, and I want to specifically talk about their horns.
What's the thing in that tarp?
Hold that thought though. So actually, I'm going to speed us along a little bit, because we might have a really good view of some of the babies out here.
Oh.
So please
They're
do
here,
remain
they're here.
speeded until we come to a complete stop. Well, a little speed racer there. Look at that tiny little roan hanging out on the grass.
Look at these.
Look at how skinny its
Look
legs
at
are compared to its
Adam.
tiny body.
Adam, let's stand up. Let's stand up.
I'm not gonna lie.
Here, I'll go like
That
this.
might be the baby, or the newborn, I should say. They're all babies.
Oh god.
Feel free to stand up, get a picture of them. Unfortunately, I can't get us to a point where we can see it, and the fence is in the way. So please try to
Okay.
make do with that.
Just got a picture.
But this is
Look at that
fantastic.
one, look at that
You
one.
can really get a
They're
good
eating.
look at the different life
They're eating
stages
right
of roan. So you're seeing
That's
baby
what-
roan
that's what they're
all the way
getting.
up to say kids who've just grown those horns in to a full adult who has those curved horn features. Yeah, look
that's
at
an
how
adult right
tiny
there.
That little one is. I'm almost positive that has to be less than a week old.
Oh.
Oh my god. So small.
And it's making our job even easier.
Come on, do a little bit more.
Come on.
A little bit more. Come on.
But I want you again to focus on its size. Now imagine if it lies down right now, you'd be able to see just how well it could blend in even to the grass, right? You think it's just a pile of dirt out there. So these babies,
go?
really hard to see. If you take this trail
Oh, I
about
see, I
10
see, I
more
see it. I
times,
see it.
give it about like 30 minutes when they move off, you probably won't see that baby for the rest of the day. At least not in this kind of a view. So really happy you were able to see it. And I know we could stay here for pretty much the entire tour, but I do have to be that guy and move us forward here. So get your last second pictures and please take your seats once you've gotten those.
They're really gonna do that, boy.
So we're going to talk about their horns for a bit, but I think that's...
That one's walking solo.
Good excuse as to why we didn't.
There's a dog.
All right. We will go ahead and move forward.
There's
If you have
a
any questions
dog.
about any of these animals, by the way, that we've seen, or maybe something that you saw and I didn't
It's
identify for
it's
you,
a rock.
by all means, please do let me know once the tour is complete. There are some instances where you do find an animal out here that I can't even see. Please do let me know. And also, just want to know a bit more about them in general.
There's one over
I think there's
there.
a lot more of the adult roan antelope.
Look over there.
And the one adult with the babies was not the mother of all of them. It's not just where the dominant female has kids. They all would, but the babies and the
Over
kids would
there.
hang out kind of in one area together.
I'm literally getting such a good video right now.
Mr. Coon.
God, you're literally leaning on me, Adam.
Oh, sorry.
It's cool though. I'm good.
Oh, so you said it was good.
Yeah.
With our little brief pause we had, checking out the baby, we're going to move back
over
into
there.
South.
Oh, you can't even see them when they're against the wall on
And as we
video.
return, I want to take a brief moment to talk about something a bit closer to home for a lot of you natives.
But you
in
can see
Southern
them over
California.
there.
If you take a look around you right now, the plants that exist on this trail side,
Plants.
collectively they make up an environment called California coastal sagebrush. And the reason I bring this up is because, like some of the animals we've talked about, this is one of the most endangered
We've
environments
been
that we
going for
have in
almost
all of
20
the US.
minutes.
And it plays a key role as the habitat for a lot of our endangered
Can
species.
I go here get a drink?
Animals like cactus
What?
wren,
Can I go here?
burrowing owls, and kangaroo rats are just a few examples of animals who need
I
this
don't have
kind of
any slush
environment to
left.
home.
I know.
And one way you can help us support the environment by extension of those animals is if you enjoy gardening, consider purchasing native species to put in your own garden. So plants that
I
exist
like. I
naturally
think I
here in
have like a
California.
water bottle left.
Have you ever played Pokemon Breakbound? I mean, not Pokemon.
Go.
Pokemon
Go.
Shield or Pokemon
Oh.
Sword?
Yeah.
That's what this looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good view of another animal coming up here on the driver's side.
Oh my god.
What
So
is
at
that?
first glance, these tiny animals, it's just a gazelle, right? That's what they look like. They do look exactly the same as gazelles, but actually they're not a true gazelle. These animals are called springbok, and springbok are a kind of antelope. They just happen to have very similar colors to most gazelle species. Now, the reason they got their name is they will actually spring or jump up in the air if something scares them, or if a predator shows up. What they're doing is they're showing off. They're telling the predator, I see you, don't hunt me. This is how healthy I am, that I can waste my energy jumping and I'll still have right to just give it up. Sounds kind of silly, but it does work. And then with them are a group of Ellipsu water buck. The water buck will be hanging out kind of down below. I'm going to pull us forward a bit further, so if you do want to get any passing pictures of them, the fence won't be in your way in just a moment. This, by the way, is a species of animal where just the males grow horns. So these are all females and the little ones out here. We have a separate adult male herd, like a bachelor herd.
It's a herd, boys.
And then if you look kind of by the dirt road where that meter is, you can see one facing away from you and I, and then you can see that white circle. That circle on their rear end is called a follow me mark.
Honestly,
And it's used so other members of the herd can follow each other when they're walking through tall grasses.
Like, I kind of regret not bringing a camera now. They're eating right there. Where is it? It's right there. And we got covered.
Now,
But they're still
I think
eating.
we're just about wrapped up here with South Africa.
And now we move on to the next one.
There's maybe one more species on the passenger side. So if you look closely here, just all of a sudden appearing all over the hill.
Oh!
Dark brown to almost brick colored animal with those huge horns.
These are
So we'll kind of
big.
center ourselves on
Those are
them and then you
big
can feel free to
boys.
stand up.
It's the biggest of boys.
Alright, right about there is fine. Feel free to stand up, turn around your seats if you need to. These creatures are known as the Ankoli cattle. Now, Ankolas are a bit different than any other animal I've talked to you about yet because they are not a wild animal, they're domesticated. The people of Africa have selected them for those huge horns. Those horns, if you put them together, can get about as long as the row you're sitting on from door to door. So they're massive. If an Ankoli falls over, sometimes they get stuck on them. They can't get back up unless someone helps them. So really cool, not necessarily
I
wild.
really get stuck.
Big.
Bro, I can imagine.
Just imagine being one of them and
And with
falling
that,
over.
it is time for us to return to East Africa so we can have some time spent there. So to say thank you all very much for joining us at the Safari Park today, because thanks to you being here with us, you've not only helped us take care of these animals, you've helped us support a lot of our different research
Look at
projects
all
that
those
we've talked about
animals
before.
right there.
Whether that's Wildlife Kenya,
there.
the
Wait, those are
preservation of our
emus.
native wildlife, plant life,
There's an emu.
or the representative breeding
No, see?
programs and rhino rescue
There's an
centers.
emu.
Again,
Sounds like
all
a
that is
Pokemon.
thanks to you being here alongside us, and you're truly helping San Diego Zoo Global as a nonprofit organization.
There's an
Focus on
emu
the model of
somewhere
the
around
fight
here.
against extinction.
Emo.
And as we'll just say here,
It's
you
a
are
wild
heroes for
emo.
wildlife.
There's
So again, then joining us on the
there.
driver's
There's an
side, you'll
emu.
see another one of the
think right
spiders
there's an
hanging out
emu.
out there,
Emo.
as well as
It's
three
an emu
animals that
right
are
there.
not blocked by a
Emo.
fence.
Wild emo.
It's an emu.
Those are deer.
Oh.
Remember when I
There
told you
was
there's a
an
lot
emu.
of native wildlife that comes around here? Those aren't ours. Those are called mule deer. They're just hanging around. They are known, by the way, though, to eat children who have disobeyed their parents.
Wow.
So if we have any of those on board, I'm gonna go ahead and move us forward here.
Oh,
I've only
one's
had
looking at us.
3 people on my tram, so you've got great odds today, folks. Now, as we come around this corner here, we're gonna be visiting the Rhino Rescue Center very briefly. You're gonna see 2 umbrellas.
Rhinos.
Under
Rhinos.
one of them is where Victoria and then Edward is lying down with her. So you can see Edward if you didn't see him earlier.
I see
We're
him right
a little blocked
there.
here, but I'm just going to go slowly past if you didn't see them earlier today.
I see the boy.
So this umbrella hut with a rhino
I see
facing
all
kind of
of
away
them.
from us. There's one lying down next to it. That's Edward out there. Really cute little guy. You guys saw a lot of babies today that you don't usually get to see, actually. You are actually a very lucky tour group. I'm not just saying that. I think this is probably, Edward's been alive, yes, he's been with us for about 6 or 7 months now. This is probably my 10th tour ever seeing him. So that's pretty rare. And then, yeah, this is my first day seeing that young of a baby with it. It's not recently, so I'm pretty sure that was the new. Now, as we get back into East Africa here, most of the animals will be on the passenger side. We're going to make a couple more stops before completing the
Passenger,
tour.
that way.
We'll see if we can find anyone we haven't talked about too much yet.
Still gonna look both ways, but you know, if I see anything. So much.
All right, let's
So
do what's out
hard.
here.
Flamingos. The flamingo.
So I believe I mentioned them by
Flamingo.
name earlier today, but to go a bit more in depth on them, on the passenger side, you will see some birds hanging out kind of by those A little bit further away from you
Over
and I
there.
on the rocks. Those are the East African crown
Birdies.
crane. They have those white wings and they have a golden afro atop their head.
There are more over there. Oh, but it smells so bad.
But I do see where we can make our final stopping point. It's up ahead of us with some southern white rhinos. So hold on real quick.
Oh my god, they're so big.
No, it's not.
There is a
The rhinos will
photographer.
probably be our last major stopping point for the day. Make sure you get some pictures of them before we head back into
Hey,
the dock.
it's Moto.
It's Moto Moto, boy. We got Moto Moto
Now,
on camera.
unfortunately, the palm trees do kind of get in the way here, so I'm going to do my best to center all of you on these two animals. And then if you are
I got
blocked
him.
by them, I'll roll forward slowly in just a little bit. So make sure you have your cameras ready in case you do need to snap a quick pic.
I literally got the perfect pic where they're right in between
Right
them.
about
see.
this guy.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of recording right now, so I kind of can't stop.
So feel free to stand
Yo,
up,
it's
get some pictures
25
of them.
minutes
Yeah.
recording.
Again,
Oh my
there's
God.
two species of rhino you were able to
About
see
26.
today. These have all been southern white rhinoceros. The other rhino you saw was, if anyone remembers Aria, who we saw at the beginning of that big tall hill, she is a black rhinoceros, so a different species of African rhino in general. Now what's cool about southern white rhinos is you can see them behaving like this. They are, what we talked about at the very beginning of our tour, social. Female southern white rhinos will form little groups called crashes that they use to protect their babies. Meanwhile, though, a black rhinoceros like Aria is very territorial. She is solitary and would not allow any other
And I
rhinos
took
to
this
be
one
in
from
her
my
area.
dad because he likes
So you would
it.
never see her unless it was her baby behaving like those two rhinos there or any of the other rhinos you see in this area. She'd have chased them off or gotten into a fight with them. Also, southern white rhinoceros are the largest living rhino species we have in the world today.
Oh, we started
So
moving
they are the
again.
true living tanks.
No, I saw.
It's a bird.
It's a bird.
I think with that, we are going to be all set to slowly begin making our way back into the loading dock. So I do want to say thank you all very much for joining me here on the Africa Tram. I hope you had some fun and were able to enjoy the tour, and hopefully you learned a bit about these animals as well. We're going to make one quick little stop by our lions. We'll see if they're out.
Lions.
It's really hit or miss. There's sometimes they're in a great view, other times you can't see them at all.
We're
So
probably
we'll do
gonna
a
see
brief
them.
stop there before returning.
Is it really the boys?
Ducks. Ducks. There are ducks. Oh my god.
I want to get bread.
We have ducks. There are ducks. I know. We're not tigers, lions.
We haven't seen elephants.
Yeah.
We haven't seen elephants.
Let's
We haven't even
see.
seen platypus.
I wish.
Anything? Oh, no lions.
I'm not seeing them. But here's the thing. So if you follow that bridge, there are a few guests out there. That tells me that there might be a lion around that area. Now I've seen all 4 of our lions today. Just a little key for all of you. If you see a male, so if he's got a mane, that's Izu, no doubt about it. He's the only male we've got here. If you see Izu, the male, then there's one girl with him named Atosha. That's a female. If you don't see any manes on them, there's 2 girls out here named Mina and Oshana. Mina and Oshana are Izu's girlfriends. So if you go ahead and visit the lion area over here, you can definitely look at them. But with that, we are going to be pulling back into the loading dock, so please do me a favor, remain seated until we come to a complete stop.
No.
Once we have, you can reach over on the passenger side doors and push those black knobs forward. The door should pop open for you. My name is Brendan. If you have any questions, comments, or just want to chat for a little bit, feel free to let me know. I'll be at the front of the tram. And other than that, have a
Yo,
great rest of your
I've been
day.
going for almost 30 minutes now.
Missed it.
I recorded the whole entire
We're getting off now. Gonna start recording again as soon as we get to the lions. Alright, look, 30, about to be 30 minutes. Look, 29:05.
We'll make it. 2025.
It's 2:25. Just a cute.